It was the start of the summer, and a woman who had been feeling nauseated at work, her hormones didn't really get the memo of the morning sickness. She was a few months pregnant and thought it was time to inform her supervisor of her upcoming maternal leave. But the conversation didn't go as she imagined it would.
Little did she know that informing her boss of her pregnancy would cause her to be terminated due to it not being good for the company. So now she got fired from her job, and that was her only source of income.
Stress of trying to search for a job while also trying to provide for herself and the new arrival in the family with dwindling funds.
This was the reality for Chelsea Glasson, Whitney Tomlinson, Kamisha Denton, and thousands of other women.
Even the employers who don't break the Pregnancy Discrimination Act and don't fire their expecting employees, they still struggle during the duration of their maternity leave. And it's not just because they're actively growing a fetus inside of them for 9 months and then have to push it out. On average, maternity leave is 12 weeks, and for those who don't feel like doing the math on how many months that is, it's about 3.
But what is the problem that we are trying to address here?
Unpaid maternity and paternity leave. I'm Rasha.
I'm Olivia, and we're going to be diving into both sides of paid maternity and paternity leave.
The pros
and the cons.
So if you're wondering why women should get paid because they just gave birth, here are some statistics and reasons why women should be paid when they go on maternity leave.
But before we get into the numbers, let's deep dive into what it's like to carry a fetus to full term, specifically the months during the maternity leave. Don't worry, we're not going to play one of those awkward documentaries that they separated the boys and girls for in 6th grade.
During the 7th and 8th month of pregnancy, nothing really happens, just the boring stuff like the further development of lungs, brain, hearing, and the heart, so it's not that big of a deal. But during the 9th month of pregnancy is when the fetus really starts dropping it down low, and by dropping, we mean it drops down to the pelvis head first. The 9th month of pregnancy is also equipped with super cool Braxton Hicks contractions, which is basically your body playing pranks on you, trying to prepare you for the real deal contractions.
And of course, your skin decides to do some new exterior design to go with the new interior design, stretch marks and spider veins.
And you can't forget the leg pain, backaches, shortness of breath, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, migraines, breast pain, round ligament pain, hip pain, heartburn, constipation, swelling, restlessness, leg syndrome, reflux, and feeling full faster, insomnia, frequent urination, excessive exhaustion, uterus being stretched from the size of a lemon to the size of a watermelon. Just the basics.
Also, a mention to that 30% of women who still menstruate during their pregnancy. And of course, the risk to the actual birthing part, starting out with the different types of tears, cervical, vaginal, and blood vessels, and an honorable mention to the different types of hematomas in the pelvis, vulva, and vagina. Then you also gotta love those possible blood clot disorders, and placenta accreta, increta, and percreta, which to someone who is about to Google what the actual crap that is, according to the Brigham and Women's Hospital, placenta increta is a condition where the placenta attaches more firmly to the uterus and becomes embedded in the organ's muscle wall.
And for those who have zero idea what a placenta is, when you're growing a fetus inside you, your body also decides to invent a new organ to then proceed to birth it out after you birth the fetus. So what does the aftermath of giving birth actually look like?
So wait, you're telling me that after giving birth to a fetus, it actually takes a toll on your body? And so the body needs time to recover from pushing a literal being out of you, so that's why we have maternity leave in the first place? What?
Jackpot, but revisiting the point, after birth, women can experience rapid heart rate, fatigue, weight loss, weight gain, constipation, dry skin, baby blues, shedding of the superficial mucous membrane of the uterus, contraction, incontinence, hemorrhoids, bowel movements, hair loss, skin changes, mood swings, postpartum depression, separation anxiety, widening of hips and the feet, and many more effects.
That list is longer than those side effects in those medication commercials, honestly. But now that we've gotten the revisitation of your 8th grade biology lesson out of the way, here's those reasons we promised. We know that paid maternity leave is possible because already in the United States, 23% of women get paid maternity leave already.
Furthermore, out of 186 countries, more than 96% of them offer paid maternity leave to women.
We won't list all the 120 plus nations that do offer paid maternity leave, but an honorable mention to Bulgaria that offers over 114, and Estonia that offers 574 days of paid maternity leave to women. But 66% of women can't afford to take time off during their pregnancy because they are financially reliant on their job.
Recent research suggests, start quote, parental leave can also have a positive impact on the well-being and mental health of the children. Men and women alike have the opportunity to bond with their children through parental leave policies, end quote.
Also, other research shows, start quote, offering paid parental leave can increase productivity, improve employee morale, help employers retain and attract top talent, and have a positive impact on social disparity and the health and well-being of employees and their children, end quote. Needs and necessities both for the mother and child.
But if we did offer more widespread paid maternity leave in the U.S., where would we get the money from?
In California, paid paternity leave is funded by an employee-paid inflation index payroll tax, meaning there are no direct costs to employers, according to Scientific American. Also, paid maternity leave supports economic growth and household economic growth.
When there are pros, there are always going to be cons to something. Paid maternity leave causes increased costs to corporations and companies who are paying someone who's not working. Also, employers are afraid that the system may be abused, that people will begin to take advantages of the leave. It could also cause some internal conflicts with other employees not receiving pay when they take time off.
Also, research suggests that, start quote, paid maternity leave can reinforce stereotyped gender roles in a way that's harmful to both women and men. If only women are paid to stay at home with their new baby, it strengthens the assumption that it's solely a woman's job to care for the child and look after the house, end quote.
After the pandemic, there are a lot of employers who are looking for employees, and paid maternity leave can become harmful for small businesses, as larger corporations on one hand can afford to continue paying an employee on maternity leave. However, small business owners with fewer employees cannot afford to pay an employee who's taking months off at a time during the maternity leave.
This can also cause discrimination during the hiring process against women who are in a childbearing age to avoid having to pay them while they take a maternity leave. Paid parental leave is suggested to affect workers' subsequent labor market outcomes such as employment and wages in several different ways, because paid leave increases the time parents spend away from work.
There are many different pros and cons to paid parental leave. But the question is, do the pros outweigh the cons?
Or do the cons outweigh the pros?
Let us know what you think.
Go to our website, r-and-o-podcast.webador.com. Webador spelled W-E-B-A-D-O-R. Or leave a comment on this podcast. You'll hear from us soon.